Ah man, the early 2000s, what a golden era for video games. And among the gems that emerged from this time, few have captured the hearts of players like this. Released in 2003, The Simpsons Hit and Run became an instant classic, blending the open world chaos of the Grand Theft Auto series with the humor and charm of everyone's favorite animated family, The Simpsons. But how did the game come to be, and why does it still hold a special place in the hearts of gamers 2 decades later? Let's deep dive into the history and the legacy of The Simpsons Hit and Run. To understand the origins of The Simpsons Hit and Run, we need to go back into the late 90s. The gaming landscape was evolving rapidly, with open-world games like Grand Theft Auto 3 pushing boundaries and setting new standards. It was clear that players craved more freedom, more exploration, and seemingly more chaos. Enter Radical Entertainment, a Canadian game development studio known for their work on the Crash Bandicoot franchise. They saw an opportunity to bring the world of Springfield to life in a way that had never been done before. The idea was to combine the open-world freedom of Grand Theft Auto with the humor and characteristics of The Simpsons. The development team did face a unique challenge though, how to create a game that stayed true to the spirit of the show while offering a compelling gameplay. They worked closely with the writers and animators of The Simpsons, ensuring that every joke, every line of dialogue, and every location felt authentic, and actually making Springfield look like Springfield, unlike what happened to The Simpsons Road Rage, which was very gloomy and disappointing. For example, the team struggled with how to integrate the show's signature humor into a dynamic open-world environment. The show's humor often relies on visual gags, quick cuts, and timing that are difficult to replicate in a video game. The developers had to experiment with different approaches, ultimately deciding to focus on character dialogue, interactive objects, and hidden jokes, scattered throughout the entire world. This approach allowed the game to retain the show's humor while adapting in the medium of video games. Or if players were really eagle-eyed, they might have noticed a monorail, a nod to the classic episode Marge vs. the Monorail, or the presence of the stonecutter symbol scattered around Springfield referencing the secret society from Homer the Great. These Easter eggs would not only reward fans for their knowledge of the show, but also add layers to the depth of the game world, making it feel like a living, breathing version of Springfield. For instance, the team drew inspiration from several key episodes of The Simpsons, such as Bart Gets an F, where Bart's struggles at school influences characters' missions, and Marge vs. the Monorail, which served as a backdrop for some of the game's chaotic driving missions. These connections helped to root the game deeply within the universe of The Simpsons, making it feel like an extension of the show itself. There were also challenges in making sure the humor of the tone of the game matched the not-so-serious spirit of the show. The developers worked closely with the show's writers to ensure that every line of dialogue and every visual gag felt authentic. In one interview, a developer recalled how they had to revise certain jokes multiple times just to get them just right, ensuring that they would land with both hardcore fans of the show and, of course, the newcomers alike. Another interesting behind-the-scenes tidbit involves the voice actors from the show. The entire main cast reprised their roles for the game, recording hundreds of lines of dialogue to ensure that the characters felt authentic. However, this wasn't without its challenges. Coordinating the schedules for busy actors like Dan Castellaneta and Nancy Cartwright required meticulous planning, and in some cases the actors had to record their lines separately and at different times. Despite these challenges, the end result was a game that truly captured the essence of The Simpsons. When The Simpsons Hit and Run first hit the shelves in September 2003, it was clear that Radical Entertainment had struck gold. The game featured 5 playable characters: Homer, Marge, Bart, Lisa, and Apu, each with their own unique missions and storylines. Players could explore a meticulously crafted version of Springfield filled with iconic landmarks like the Kiwi Mart, the nuclear power plant, and of course the Simpsons house. The game was packed with collectibles, hidden gags, and Easter eggs rewarding players who took the time to explore every corner of the town with special footage at the end. And this world wasn't just any Springfield. It was a vibrant, colorful rendition that truly captured the essence of the show. Unlike its predecessor, The Simpsons Road Rage, which if you can't tell by now, I really do not like that game, that had a darker, more subdued color palette, Hit and Run was bright and full of life. Exploring areas like the nuclear power plant or the Springfield Pier just felt like simply discovering hidden parts of the beloved TV show, bringing Springfield to life in a way fans had never experienced before. Developing a game as ambitious as The Simpsons Hit and Run wasn't without its challenges. Radical Entertainment faced numerous obstacles, from technical limitations to creative decisions that could have drastically changed the game at all. For instance, early in development, the team toyed with the idea of making the game more of a straightforward racing title similar to The Simpsons Road Rage. However, after seeing the success of open-world games like Grand Theft Auto 3, they decided to take the risk and expand in the scope of the game. Notable as it helped to replicate the look of the show in a 3D environment. This was relatively a new technique at the time, as it played a crucial role in maintaining the cartoonish aesthetic that fans had expected. The design team spent countless hours ensuring Springfield's layout was faithful to the series. Even though the show itself often played fast loose with the town's geography, this attention to detail made the game's world feel cohesive and believable despite the inherent contradictions in the source materials. Part of the game's enduring appeal lies in its simplicity. Unlike modern open world games that can be overwhelming with the sheer size and complexity, Hit and Run offers a more focused, accessible experience unlike other games like Horizon Zero Dawn, and yes, I do have beef with that game. The game's missions are straightforward, the humor is timeless, and the sense of exploration is still satisfying, even after all these years. For many players, revisiting Hit and Run is like returning to a favorite TV show. It's comforting, familiar, and always entertaining. But what really set Hit and Run apart was its humor and open world aesthetic. The writing was sharp, the dialogue was witty, and the game was filled with references to classic episodes of the show. Whether you were smashing your car through a billboard or listening to Homer complain about his mortal enemy, the game never let you forget that you were playing in the world of The Simpsons, while actually getting to explore The Simpsons world with its bright and beautiful color patterns and seeing areas that many of us had not seen before within the show, like the full details of the nuclear power plant or my personal favorite, the Springfield Pier. Players could also choose from a wide variety of vehicles, each with its own unique handling and speed. From Homer's iconic Peak sedan to Mr. Plow's snowplow truck, the vehicles added another layer of fun and nostalgia to the gameplay. Missions varied from simple fetch quests to more complex tasks involving time trials and chase sequences. The game even allowed players to get out of their vehicles and explore on foot, giving them a chance to interact with Springfield residents and uncover hidden secrets, unlike Road Rage. These elements combined to give The Simpsons Hit and Run a significant replay value. Even after completing the main storyline, players found themselves returning to the game to hunt for collectibles, complete side missions, and uncover every last Easter egg. The game's blend of humor, exploration, and engaging gameplay kept fans hooked for hours on end long after the credits rolled, which is very important. As someone who is part of the game development community, I can say this right now. The main thing, even though when the game ends, is to make sure that player comes back to replay it again, which is why Rockstar games would tend to be more popular because you can always go back and replay the missions and still have fun because you feel freedom. Naughty Dog is like that as well for their storylines, and as you can see, The Simpsons Hit and Run is there just for the open world freedom to explore Springfield, which is something that a lot of people have always wanted to do. The Simpsons Hit and Run was a commercial success, selling over 3 million copies worldwide. Critics praised its faithful recreation of Springfield, its addictive gameplay, and its humor, but perhaps most importantly, fans simply just loved it. The game became a cult classic with fans clamoring for a sequel for years, but despite its success, a true sequel was never materialized. Radical Entertainment would go on to develop other titles, but none would ever capture the magic of Hit and Run, as Radical Entertainment would soon also end in development of their entire studio. The Simpsons Hit and Run wasn't just a hit with fans, but it also had a huge significant impact on the gaming industry in general. At the time of its release, licensed games often had a really bad reputation for being low quality and rushed products. However, Hit and Run proved that a licensed game could be both critically and commercially successful, setting a new standard of what such games could achieve. In fact, some game developers have cited The Simpsons Hit and Run as an influence on their own work. The game's success showed that with the right approach, it was possible to create a game that appealed to both fans of the original IP and the broader gaming community. And if you think about it, you can tell that this game has definitely influenced later titles like Batman Arkham Asylum and Spider-Man. Let's not forget, Batman Arkham Asylum series was a huge success in the gaming industry for a long time because of the deep storyline and even the villains that they had. Whereas Spider-Man, it had its game, but it definitely was not as good as the games that we have right now involving Miles and Peter Parker. So why does The Simpsons Hit and Run still resonate with players today? Part of it is nostalgia, of course. For many, the game was a defining part of their childhood, but it's also a testament to the game's quality. Even today, Hit and Run stands as one of the best adaptations of a TV show and a video game. Unlike many other licensed games, Hit and Run wasn't just a cash and grab, it was a labor of love, crafted by a team that understood and respected the source material, and that's why 2 decades later, it's still remembered so fondly. Over the years, fans have launched numerous campaigns and petitions calling for a sequel, but these efforts have yet to bear any fruit. Despite persistent rumors and occasional hints from developers, a follow-up to a Hit and Run remains elusive. However, this hasn't stopped fans from speculating about what a sequel could look like, with some even creating their own fan-made trailers and concept art. Honestly, if any of the ownership of The Simpsons Hit and Run was actually paying attention to the fan base, they would see that the fan base is pretty passionate. Even today, fans are creating new mods, sharing speedruns, and discussing the game in online forums like Reddit. The modding community in particular has done incredible work to keep the game relevant, introducing new characters, vehicles, and even entirely new missions. Over the years, the game has maintained a dedicated fan base. Modders have kept the game alive on PC, creating new content enhancing the original experience. And in 2021, a fan-made remake video went viral, reigniting interest in the game and sparking rumors of potential remaster. To remaster the game using modern graphics engines like Unreal Engine. While these projects often run into legal issues by EA and whatnot, they demonstrate the enduring love and dedication that fans have for The Simpsons Hit and Run. It's honestly a testament to the game's lasting appeal that, even nearly 2 decades later after its release, it's still inspiring creativity and innovation. Now, of course, besides the fact that the fans want and need, or just simply love the fact of thinking about a sequel to this game, there's been numerous fan theories and speculation about what's actually going on within the game itself. Some fans believe that the certain missions or Easter eggs in the games were actually subtle references to deeper themes within the show already, or even nods to other video games. For instance, there's a theory that the game's emphasis on mind control and surveillance is a commentary on the show's frequent satire of corporate culture and media influence. Another popular theory is that the game's storyline, which involves a mysterious alien cola and mind-controlling advertisements, was inspired by the classic episode like Treehouse of Horror 6, an internal moonshine of the Simpsons' mind. Whether or not these theories hold water, they're certainly added to the ongoing discussion and fascination with the game, which should definitely show that fans are still thinking about this game and still want to do more within the game because of how good it was. Another theory suggests that the game's depiction of Springfield as a fully explorable open world is a subtle critique of the show's own inconsistent geography, a playful acknowledgement of the show's many contradictions. Whether or not these theories hold up under scrutiny, they certainly add to the game's allure, giving fans even more reasons to revisit Springfield and search for hidden meaning. These theories have only grown more elaborate over the years, with fans continuing to debate their validity on forums and social media. Some have even speculated that the game contains hidden references to other popular games at the time, such as Grand Theft Auto Vice City or Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, which influenced Hit and Run's designs and mechanics. While these connections might be tenuous, they highlight the depth of passion that the fans have for this game. But the question is, will there ever be another Simpsons Hit and Run? And well, the chances are very low, but it could still happen. But there is a lot of loopholes, and I mean a lot of loopholes to make it happen, and it starts with EA. For years, people have been begging EA to remake the Simpsons Hit and Run franchise and even a sequel to it. EA seemingly keeps refusing to do so. As said before, YouTubers like Rubes have remade the game but only for entertainment purposes, because as he stated in his video, EA would continue to make copyright claims and make the developer take down the game almost immediately, so no one will ever be able to download the game, even if someone made a full complete remake of it. But it's not just EA's fault. Under Rube's comment section, the lead designer for The Simpsons Hit and Run, Joe McGinn, complimented Rubes on his remake, and as a result, a lot of fans asked him if there will ever be a remake, and his answer was, well, he couldn't give anyone an answer, since he's no longer with the companies who owns the rights to The Simpsons Hit and Run. And if you heard that plural sound for the word company, that's because there is several ownerships to this particular game. You see, EA holds the rights to the Simpsons games in general, like the Simpsons game that was released in 2007, and Tapped Out, the mobile game that was released in 2022. However, this particular game, The Simpsons Hit and Run, is owned by Gracie Films, Activision, and EA. And for those who can see where this dark pathway is going, you may have noticed another big name in the ownership loophole, Gracie Films. This is where things get even more complicated, because of another big hidden word, Disney. As we all know, Walt Disney Studios bought 21st Century Fox Studios in 2019, which is important because Gracie Films is underneath 21st Century Fox Studios. And seeing as now Disney owns the prominent company that makes the Simpsons franchise, both EA and Activision have to find a way to convince Disney to collaborate and remaster or remake or make a sequel for this beloved game. But Disney has been showing their money-hungry side in other things, like pushing out Marvel movies, focusing on rides, which, by the way, while making the video, just 2 hours ago they released a statement saying that they're making a new entire land in Walt Disney World called the Villains Land. So with all of that, and Disney Plus not doing as well as they thought it would, The Simpsons Hit and Run might not be on their to-do list, at least at the top of their to-do list. But it should be. Like I said, Disney has been showing their money-hungry side for a while now, but if they were serious about their income, they would take a look at Capcom and the Resident Evil franchise. Capcom had remade Resident Evil 2 and released it back in 2019. That alone made them around $9.30 million. So imagine what the most beloved and anticipated remakes would look like for EA, Activision, and Disney. And remember, this isn't just for those who played the game already, this is also for those who haven't, because The Simpsons is just too well known around the world, which reaches every single generation, even the newest ones. Alpha. Once people start watching YouTubers and Twitch streamers play this game, the want for it is going to skyrocket, rising profit for every single company that was mentioned. So with all of this love for The Simpsons Hit and Run, it's natural to wonder, will we ever see a remaster or a sequel? And like I said before, it's very low. But over the years, there have been numerous rumors and teases but nothing concrete has ever been materialized. In fact, some developers from the original team have expressed interest in revisiting the game, but the rights and licensing issues are very complex with having 3 ownerships and not just one anymore. Still, hope remains alive among fans, and with the recent success of other remastered games, who knows, maybe one day we'll get to return to the world of Springfield in a brand new hit and run adventure. The Simpsons Hit and Run is more than just a great licensed game. It's a piece of gaming history that has earned its place in the pantheon of all-time classics. Its blend of humor, gameplay, and reverence for the source material makes it a shining example of how to do a licensed game right. And with the continued love and support from its fanbase, Hit and Run is sure to remain a beloved title for years to come. As we come to this conclusion, while a remaster or a sequel remains uncertain, the legacy of The Simpsons Hit and Run is secure. It remains a shining example of what can happen when talented developers, passionate fans, and a beloved IP come together to create something truly special. Needless to say, even with all the complications of ownerships with The Simpsons Hit and Run, all the gamers can all agree that what we want is a remake of this nostalgic game. EA has shown that they still want to make Simpsons games, and Activision has shown that the creation of goofy games have not gone away. Even though Radical Entertainment Studios have been shut down, the people who used to work at the studio would also like to be part of or see a remake. So to EA, Disney, Activision, or whoever else owns this iconic game, please just give us a remake we want. Whether you're a longtime fan or discovering it for the first time, The Simpsons Hit and Run offers a trip to Springfield that you'll never forget. And I would highly recommend finding it somewhere on this planet and placing it in your PlayStation 2 or GameCube and give it a try yourself. I would make a gameplay video for it, but the game did not age well at all, and which is why we really need a remake of this game. And by the way, shout out to my mom in Blockbuster. If it wasn't for that pretty lady who showed me the road of Blockbuster and renting then buying the game of The Simpsons Hit and Run, I would have never known about this amazing game. By the way, thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive into The Simpsons Hit and Run, please don't forget to subscribe and like and hit the notification button for more content. Until the next time, stay tuned and keep gaming.